Hello. We'll be reading the book There's No Place Like Space by Rabe, illustrated by Aristides Ruiz. We'll be doing this in a print referencing style. So the first reading is just pretty much going to be looking at pictures, pointing some interesting things out, discussion, and then the second time going through we'll read the book, ask some questions, and go from there. Point out some words of interest. Alright. There's no place like space. All about our solar system. So who's that on the front here? It's the cat in the hat. The kids from the story. There he is in the moon. Oh, they're on some sort of spaceship. Very cool. So we see here we've got the cat in the hat. To have fun, visit the planet, stars, and the sun. So we're already getting some rhyming here. Seems to be coming in very fast. He's got the movement lines behind him. Fly up high, play games in the sky. More rhyming there. What's that machine doing? It's got a hand that can... It's got an astronaut helmet. Isn't that interesting? Thing 1 and thing 2 up there. And they're going through the sky in the solar system. Look at that. We've got the sun here and all the little planets. But first, this is Mercury, it says here. It looks very cold, doesn't it? He's shaking in his bed there. His face up here too, he's very cold. And then Venus. Today's weather on Venus, really hot, nearly 900 degrees Fahrenheit, windy and dry. So your oven at home that some of your adults might cook with, most of those only go up to about 500 degrees. So this is almost twice as hot as your oven at its hottest. So very hot. And then, home sweet home. This is the Earth here. It's a very interesting question. If the Earth's always spinning, why don't we feel dizzy? Does anybody have any ideas on that? We'll get back to this later when we do our second reading, but that's a very interesting idea. You guys want to keep that in your heads. This is Mars. All the dust and everything, the dirt, making him sneeze there. Jupiter. They're showing that it's so big that you could fit all the other planets in there if you wanted to. This is Saturn. It's got a very big ring. That's one of the things that Saturn is known for. It shows here that it's very light. It's made up of gas, so it could float on the water if it needed to. It's very light, even though it's very big. So this is Uranus. It shows a lot of the things that go around near Uranus. They're all around the outside of it. Neptune, very big, very blue planet. So we've got a little rhyme here. Mallory, Valerie, Emily, Mickles just saved up 999 nickels. So that'll help you remember Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. These aren't words that you're going to need to remember for testing. They're just very interesting to learn about the solar system and understand why the sun is so important. So if they look here, they've got all the different stars in the sky, and they all kind of make different pictures. It's very interesting. Well, they're talking about something, a star in the sky, and it's very big, a glowing ball. It looks small, but it's very hot. could that be? Something we need. And then we got the sun there. Yeah, so the sun is actually a star. It's just much closer, so it looks like it's not a star. It looks like it's a big, very different thing. Signing autographs because everyone loves it so much. We got the moon here. Look at that. They're looking at it. The mirror here. So the idea of that is that the moon doesn't actually give off light. It's the sun. And what the moon is similar to a mirror. So it just helps bounce the light off the moon. And this, an astronomer studies what's up in the sky. Thing 2 wants to be one. In fact, so do I. So an astronomer is somebody that looks up in the sky. An astronaut, like these two, are somebody that travels up in space and goes on the moon or on Mars or other places that we may travel to. He's got the telescope there. You can see way up in the sky. Oh, look at that. Found himself up there. And we've got some fantastic words back here in our glossary. Some very good vocabulary words that we could use at some point. Very, very good. Alright, so that's the first reading of the book. That was more of just looking at it, looking at the pictures. Now we're going to go into the reading, read a little bit more in depth. So there's no place like space. I'm the cat in the hat, and we're off to have fun. We'll visit the planets, the stars, and the sun. There is no place like space. I will prove it to you. Your mother will not mind at all if I do. Jump in, here we go. We will fly up so high we can dance on the moon and play games in the sky. We will swing past the stars, and in case you have missed them, you'll soon see the planets in our solar system. There are 8 of these planets that circle the sun, and soon you'll be able to name every one. Mercury, close to the sun's burning light. It is hot in the daytime, but freezing at night. So they were very cold there. It is very cold. It says it's freezing. On Venus, the weather is always the same. Hot, dry, and windy, with no chance of rain. Can you guess the next planet? Well, here is a clue. It is my home, and home to thing 1 and thing 2. You have been living on it each day since your birth. It is third from the sun. It is our planet. Does anybody think they know what it's going to be? Earth. It spins all the time, round and round like a top. It turns once every day, and it never will stop. This question had thing 1 and thing 2 in a tizzy. If the Earth's always spinning, why don't we feel dizzy? So does anybody think they have an idea of that, or what that could be like? Has anybody ever been in a car or on a bike that's moving very fast and they don't really feel like they're moving that fast? A car is probably a better example than a bike. Well, when you're sitting in a car on the highway or wherever you're driving, you're actually moving at a pretty fast speed. And it's the same thing as us sitting still while on the earth. We don't really feel like we're moving that fast in a car unless we look out the window. We only feel like we're standing or sitting in one spot. So it's the same kind of idea as what happens with the earth when it spins. So we don't feel the earth as it spins on its way because we're spinning right with it, right now, every day. Next, here is Mars. It's the color of rust. We sneeze here because it is covered with dust. Travel to Jupiter and you will find it is bigger than all other planets combined. They're stuffing it all in there like a toy box. Saturn has rings. It's so light. Who would think? Looks very big, doesn't it? It could float in an ocean and not even sink. A planet can have satellites that surround it. Uranus has lots of these objects around it. There are colors in space. I will show some to you. Neptune, planet 8, is a beautiful blue. Now we have seen all the planets. Now here is a trick to remember their names and remember them quick. Say, Mallory, Valerie, Emily, Mickles just saved up 999 nickels. The first letter of each of these words is the same as the first letter in each of the planets you name. And there she is with all her nickels there. Now here is a game. You can play in the skies. Connect all the stars you can see with your eyes. So we've got the Great Bear, Orion here, the Great Dog, the Bull, and the Lion. It's star dot to dot. Use your imaginations and you'll see big pictures we call constellations. The dog, the great bear, and Leo the lion, Taurus the bull, and a hunter, Orion. A star in the sky may look small like a dot, but it's really a big glowing ball, and it's hot. And there's one star by far that's our favorite one. We can't live without it. The star called the sun. And there he is again. From the Earth it looks big. There is one reason why. It's the closest to Earth of the stars in the sky. But be careful and never look right at the sun. Your eyes would get hurt, and that would not be fun. How big is the sun? We just heard right this minute 1,000,000 of our Earths could all fit right in it. Wow! So it's very, very big. Oh, look at the time. We must go very soon, but first we must take a quick look at the moon. The moon does not shine in the sky in the night, but, like a big mirror, reflects the sun's light. Astronauts flew to the moon to explore a place no one had ever been to before. They had walked on the moon and then drove all over in a special moon car called a lunar rover. An astronomer studies what's up in the sky. Thing 2 wants to be one. In fact, so do I. The universe is a mysterious place. We are only just learning what happens in space. So I brought you a present to look in the sky. Just put this telescope up to your eye. Has anyone ever seen a telescope before or played with one of those? Actually got one here. Very fun and interesting. We could definitely do a whole nother lesson with that there. Oh dear, I must go, fly back up to the stars and take things 1 and 2 out to dinner on Mars. But there's lots to discover, and it might be you who looks up in the sky and finds something that's new. Wouldn't that be interesting to look up in the sky and see something nobody's ever seen? So then we get to our wonderful glossary at the back of the book here with a bunch of vocabulary words. We've got the word astronaut, astronomer, constellation, lunar rover, satellite, solar system, telescope, and universe. It explains what all of those things are if we're not sure. So that has been There's No Place Like Space. Thank you for reading with me today.